Welcome back to the World Bridge. Good day, everyone. And My name is Adibola Kolawole, and this is the World Bridge, where we talk about the money conversation many of us were never prepared for. And We're glad you're here. I'm joined by my co-hosts as we dive into today's conversation. It's good to note that this month of April is a national financial literacy month. So we all need to be aware of where our finances are. If we need to learn more, we need to learn more things that we need to do to make sure that we're in the right place financially. So becoming a parent changes everything in most cases, anywhere you may be. It changes your time, it changes your priorities, and definitely your finances. But for many of us in the diaspora, it's more than just raising a child. It's balancing life here at the same time while still staying connected and responsible to families back home. It's managing new expenses like childcare. We talk about putting our kids in daycare and or hiring somebody to take care of them at home. While still trying to build something uh, stable for the future. And the truth is, nobody really prepares you for all this. It comes and you just have to handle it. So today we're going to be talking about wealth building for new parents here in the diaspora. How to navigate daycare costs, plan for your child's future, protect your income, protect your family, and still move forward financially in a way that is sustainable. So without wasting time, let's dive into this. I'm going to ask my co-host to say hello quickly. Mudupe and Demola, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're
Yeah,
ready for this
okay.
discussion.
I was actually waiting to see if you're not going to ask us to say hi.
I know,
No,
right? I was
I was waiting
wondering.
for your spiel. I'm like, seriously? Auntie, you
no,
like to say hi to our viewers,
definitely.
no?
Of course, they need. I was just going to, set the ground. Let's get
Okay.
everybody hyped up, and then we go. So, how are you guys doing? It's great to be
We're doing
back.
great. Yes,
All
we're
right.
back like we never left.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
Let's.
excited.
awesome, doing awesome, blessed and highly favored, ready to rock and roll today.
Yeah. I hope you guys are doing a lot to help people out there this month, especially this month, the financial literacy month. And I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to, you doing justice to today's topic. We're going to do our best to just, you know, discuss and see how things are and how we can provide information that could help anybody out there that may be in this situation. So
Mhm.
the first thing we talk about the daycare reality and budgeting. Daycare is often uh, one of the biggest shocks for new parents in the diaspora, sometimes feeling like a second rent, a second mortgage. The
Mhm.
transition from dual income to childcare expenses, emotional trade-offs, career versus staying home versus family help, and planning instead of reacting. So the first thing I want us to just look around to talk about today is that does it even make sense for one parent to keep working when daycare costs are so high? And if your daycare cost is going towards, I mean, if your monthly wage salary is going towards daycare, does it make sense for you to keep working? Why can't you just stay at home and take care of your child? So I want us to discuss it because this is very common. This is reality. I've been there. You've been there. So what do you think? Should we just give up working and just stay home and take care of our child, our
Hmm,
children?
interesting. I'll take a
Who
hit at
wants
that.
Okay.
That's a very interesting, and one of the things that I've seen, and I'll take it from two spectrum. One of the things that I want to say, if we're talking about new parents in the diaspora who are basically maybe just starting their own financial life, that might become something very burdensome in the sense that if one of the spouses, if the income one of the spouses is bringing in is probably just being engulfed by the daycare cost, it probably might make sense for one of the spouses to stay home. But while that spouse is staying home, that does not necessarily mean income stream just stops. There are still other things that you could do. And this is one of the things we don't think about, or probably because there's no there's no literacy, there's no there's no knowledge around it. And these are some of so many skills that you can now gather online, even while you're still home with your child, still nursing a child, still taking care of your child, so you can still earn income. But for some people, especially if they're new in the diaspora, they just feel like, you know what, this is the child and this is my focus. Yes, a child could be very, very demanding, but for me, I don't think that should stop the stream of income coming in, because even though you're not going out there in the workforce to go work, while you're still taking care of that child, you still earn some income. On the flip side, if you have
Hold
parents,
on, Miss Demola. I hear you. Don't flip the
Mhm.
side yet. So while you're at home, if you still work, let's look at that. And I want Mudipe to chip in, because
Okay.
the while you are still where you are home, you should still work. It's on the woman's side. It's not like
No, it could be both. It could be both. I have a client that I was talking to just a few days ago. The wife is working, the husband is home with two kids.
all right.
And
That's
and the man is holding the fort and is doing what he needs
uh,
to do. And at the same time, he's still studying, just in preparedness for when he's ready to go back into the workforce.
Mm.
So these are
okay.
real life situations that happen. So it doesn't necessarily has to be the female or the male. This has to be something
Okay.
that both spouses, they've sat down and they've decided who needs. If the spouse is making more income, it makes sense for the one who is making the lesser income to stay home with the child, right?
All right. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm not being
Modipe, what do
sexist
you
here.
what do you think?
I got you.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
didn't want to
think
interrupt you.
before Demola,
Mhm.
like say everything? What do you think? Do you think
I hear you. I wasn't planning to interrupt him. I'm just being very demure. Okay, I didn't want to interrupt Mr. Demola.
I'm giving
All
you
right. So I
permission
heard.
to
So I did
interrupt
give him
at any
permission to.
time?
Okay. Well, I'm still going to
Same
still
with
maintain.
Demola too.
Okay, I will maintain my steez while I do that. So having heard you talk, right? I'm here listening in, and I'm saying that was just an example or a scenario, right, of family we talked about. It's a lot of people's reality, and I also know a lot of people who will tell us that. I mean, they are here in diaspora and they still have in-house help. And because they do have the in-house help, right, it opens up the door for them that both parties can still go to work.
Go to
You
Yes.
see
work.
what I mean? When I say in-house help, I mean in-house help in form of family members, right, that live with them. And I'm not just saying random family members, maybe in-law, parents, in-laws, or
Yeah,
even
grandmas,
either way,
grandparents.
right? And so we have the
That is
grandparents
rare. That
living
is
with them.
rare here.
You will see, even though you say rare, I like for you to look at it outside of just the African community. I'm talking about my Pakistani brothers and sisters. I'm talking about my Punjabi brothers. I'm telling you, it's a powerful family. And these are all immigrants. So they have the help. They're not using all this daycare that we're talking about. And I'm saying that because that is somebody's also reality.
Hmm.
So regardless of what goes out there, with all this daycare thing, should I go to work? Should I not go to work? Okay, should one person go in, one person go out? I love what you said, is the scenario for that your client, Demola. And that shows that when we are here, our reality here should be unity,
Yes.
should be togetherness as a couple. If
Mm-hmm.
we're ready to stay united together and figure things out together, when nobody's in competition with another person, oh no, then we are not married.
Yeah. That's when
Just,
it becomes
we're just
toxic.
parenting. We're just co-tenants in that
Mm.
house. But when we find ourselves here, especially here, because the atmosphere and the entire environment will teach us, right? If we don't sit down to teach ourselves, and we don't want, the other side of that teaching to become a manifestation. So yeah, based on still on that topic, daycare could be really expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. And I also like for the other partners, right, who sees themselves going out there to do the work, and then you look in and then you tell those people, the spouses that are left at home, take care of the home front, and you think they are not doing anything. Oh, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
You can't even monetize what it is they're putting on the table. They're infusing the family values in the lives of those children. They're ensuring that the values and the faith, standard that you built for your family is upheld. So whether we go north, south, east, or west in this particular conversation, it boils down to us understanding ourselves as couples and then living together to achieve that aim. But regardless of whether you are working or you are at home, auntie, uncle, think outside of the box and embrace multiple income streams.
Yes.
So all of this conversation of huge daycare, we don't have help, we have help, does not become something of burden. Back to you, Ma.
Okay.
Can I just chime in something real quick? Don't mind, Adebola.
Don't chime
Can I
in.
just say something real quick? Unfortunately, most times we are always looking at the tangible benefits and we forget the intangible benefits.
Yeah.
And the intangible benefits is one of those things Modupe is talking about, the quality time that you're actually spending. That cannot be monetized. You can't put value on those things. The time you're spending to nurture that child one-on-one, that's a lot of time. It's taking a whole toll on that person's body, but the person is still giving their own part to make sure that the family is still in unison. And I think that's very, very important. So we should emphasize a lot on the intangible benefits, which a lot of us don't see, and not just the tangible benefits, which could be just the financial aspect of the money coming in.
Debola, do you give me a chance to say something? Can I say something?
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
It seems like your opening statement is just getting, like on ending
getting
here.
Interesting.
Okay, so why did I say I wanted to go say something? I realized that statistics has shown that the lives of children who are right in the faces of their parent under their tutorship, their parents are like right right in their faces. I'm not talking of daddy has gone to work, mommy has gone to work, everybody meets themselves in the evening. That's not the one I'm talking about. Though. I'm talking about the one that is daddy that drops off or mommy drops off, daddy picks up or mommy picks up, right? They are right in the life of that child. Every single activity, they are still right in there. Statistics has shown that child grows up because it's just a matter of time. They will get to college. You see, they will get to college, so they would have spent a very, tangible number of years right in the midst of their parent. Many of them don't even want to let go anymore. They are just like, they respect the family value. They just want to continue to do things together as a family. And it is huge. Because one of the things we see in this age and time is that all these ups and downs, corporate grind, has thrown a whole lot of things out there at the faces of people. And so what is called to matter now has been thrown down to the end of the tunnel. And the earlier we do this, and we consider certain things, the better for us. So while that is driving that corporate grind, mommy's driving that corporate grind, think outside of the box, Auntie Chinedu, Uncle Che, my auntie, Kelechi, my uncle Benga. Let's look outside of the box. There are plenty of opportunities out there that will literally, many of us are very happy right now. I can tell you for a fact that the three of us are so much, we're not telling you things that does not really exist. We're so much ingrained in the life and activities of our children because certain things, we made some moves and those moves, it redirected our path. We are building something that will change the entire trajectory of our generation, just not right now, but for the future. Enough?
Okay, Modupe.
Like I said,
thank you very much. I'm going to stop it right there because if I don't stop Modupe, she's going to keep going on and on and on. I mean, it's not like, she is always very interesting to listen to her. but we have, this is some things we need to tackle. So the
Okay.
question becomes less about should I quit and more about is there a way to earn that aligns better with this, this season of our life. So based on what we've heard now, there are other options than just quitting your job and staying home. You can
There are.
still make money while you are home, not
Yeah.
in especially in this age that we are. Serious, there are a lot of ways you can make money for
Mm.
stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home parents. So I'm going to go to the next thing without wasting time. So let's go into the financial. Um, how can we realistically budget for daycare without feeling overwhelmed? I okay, I want to do daycare. What can people do? Like, how can we do it? Who wants to go
Okay.
first?
Yeah, I can take that and the short, sweet, and concise right there. I mean, it's just like any other thing you're trying to
Please.
budget, if you ask me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We're
Wonderful.
hearing you.
So
Yeah.
it's just like any other thing you're trying to budget for. So it's not anything different, right? Or you're working on a particular project. It's similar manner. But when it comes to if you're like really bent on you want to get a daycare for that child, by all means, you already know that start that conversation early. It takes actually 9 months for that child to come out of the oven. So you have plenty of time. Okay.
So
So which
plan.
means you can literally start something, right? While the child, while you're trying to get that bone out of the oven, it takes a lot of time. So think about it and work towards it. Have a detailed conversation about this, right? I know it could be overwhelming, especially for new parents, right? Like you've never done it before. It's like, okay, where am I going to get the manual from? What's going to be? But you can start small. So that's what I'll say, by all means, start small, but you can also start early.
Hmm.
Starting early beats the game all the time, every time.
Hmm.
Okay.
I totally
You
agree
start
with you.
early. Yes, you start early, and that will really, help. And you can look into several opportunities out there, resources that could come handy. But to be honest, there's no way we slice dice these things. Daycare costs they are not cheap.
Hmm.
They are not
Yeah.
cheap, they're expensive. And so you have to literally look into all of this. I mean, but also see that it doesn't last forever. Be creative about things as well. So you could literally even tell yourself that you're going to stay back home maybe for the next 2 years, take care of your child. Many of us did that, right? Because we want to still be in the life of our children. But the goal overall would be to manage it in a way that doesn't derail your long-term financial progress. So I don't, at the end of the day, say, well, then we invest a whole lot into daycare while jeopardizing our, long-term financial planning project right in front of us. But again, you wait and hopefully, you find a perfect balance that works for you. If it worked for a lot of us, I'm sure you're going to find one.
That's great. I mean, you said it all on that subject. Start early. Some people even start before they get married. Some start as soon as they get married, before you even think, oh, maybe you even planning to have kids 3 years later. When you start early, it doesn't it leaves the burden off. Let me put it that way. And my next point, Mudiko already chipped into that. So talking about college savings option and all that. So I'm gonna go into the second part of it, and I want Ademona to just speak out. Because we're talking, should we start saving for college right away, or even if money is tight? I think the starting early already answered that question.
Yeah.
So what's the best way to save for college? I mean, what are the
Well,
options that
I mean, in the US, the good thing is in the US, there's so many alternatives. There's so many ways to save. There are 529 plans out there that offer tax advantages. There are other instruments whereby you could actually design for your children's education, and we just need to explore different options. That's something we could even dig a little bit deeper into as financial professionals, because that's one of our area of expertise as well that we actually help families with. But definitely there's so many ways whereby you can really save. But the best option that fits your situation, you know um is the one that you should stick with. You need to look at what is coming in, look at what the plan does. How does this plan help me achieve my goal over time? Because there's some of the things. So I don't want to throw out, just names out there, but out of all the plans out there, the more important thing is, by the time my child is ready to go to college, would I have enough saved in? Is this a kind of plan that if I keep, it doesn't get derailed by, by the economy, by inflation? What are some of the, the right source in that instrument that will help your child, or that will help you be able to save through that, college period? So, and one has to just, one of the key things is also to stay consistent. Whatever plan you decide to do, stay consistent. Keep saving. Keep saving. Don't say, "Oh, I'm going to save this year," then I don't save. As sometimes people even get money from after you get your tax refund. You get this child credits. That's extra money that could go into that funding that plan. It's not that money that you now go use for something else. So there are so many avenues, but let's just look at different alternatives. There are different ways, and if you want to get a little bit more help with this is something that we can meet with you one-on-one, and we can go a little bit, we could do a deeper dive. Thank you, Adebola.
Okay. All right. So there are options out there, like Demola said, we can go deeper with you to discuss some of that with anybody that may be interested. Okay, so let's go to the next thing that we have to talk about today. We talk about protecting our family and protecting our family income. For many immigrants families, one income often supports multiple households, making protection critical and not an option. So we're both healthy. Do we really need to have insurance right now? That's one of the questions that come up. Oh, do we need insurance? So, Mudipe, what do you think? What's your take on this?
Yeah, my first take is I chuckled because I'm like, that shouldn't even be a question for anyone. If we really love our family, if we really love one another in our family setup, questions about we are healthy, do we really need insurance should not even come up to the table. It should become, you know what? Let us find every way possible to make sure we have a portfolio in place that is called an earmarked for protection. And there's a reason for that. So calm down and let me explain. And if you're here catching up on the replay, you're still playing that mind game with yourself. I'm LD, I'm good, I'm that. The real question is, will anything called, illnesses or negative diagnosis, will it happen or will it not happen? So the question isn't if something would happen, but rather, will your family be financially secure when it does? Because some of these things that occur, that tamper with the health, they don't send you a correspondence in the email. They don't send you a correspondence in the mailbox. It occurs, and those people who probably have that as their reality, it's not like we are better off than them or otherwise. But life happens. And most of the time, many people ask the question, or I like to ask the question, what do you understand by insurance? It is simply the transfer of risk. Saying that certain things might occur that I have classified as a risk because it is an unforeseen contingency that can occur at any point in time. But rather than me swallowing up this risk when it happened, I have been so proactive and I want to transfer it over to a provider, in this case, an insurance company. And it just puts you and your family in a perfect spot. It is called your protection portfolio. Whether you are healthy, and now because you're healthy, you shouldn't have it, the more reason why you should get one. Because when you now leave that LD realm, God forbid, we hope that's not going to be our reality. But what if it happens? Guess what? The insurance will no longer be available for you. And I've seen a whole lot of people reach out to us seeking portfolio protection, protection portfolio during those times. Protection is most affordable and accessible when you are elderly people. It's the best time to secure one. You are at an advantage when you get it done by then. And to be honest, our heart goes out to people who are going through one form of reality or the other, who probably didn't make the move when they were probably told to. Now you're listening in. I'm sure you have other people in your life that could make use of this information. Immigrant families, where one or two income may be supporting multiple people, including relatives back home. The financial impact of losing that income can be very significant.
Yeah.
So let us not begin to leave or pass on our irresponsibility to others. It's about making sure that if something happens unexpectedly, our family stability is not going to be compromised. And we don't become the talk of the town. Oh, I thought that person was a doctor. They didn't have things in place. Oh, what's going on? They didn't have things in place. Very important conversation. Not all insurance policies are right for everybody. I'm just going to add that very quickly. That is why you want to sit down with a financial professional and find out which one meets your need. What is your objective? What are you trying to achieve? And let them guide you on what to do. I believe in trust and I believe in professionalism. If you trust any one of us here, reach out. That's what we do. Strides on a weekend every day.
Yep. Yeah. And just to chime in real quick.
Yeah. Sorry, Ademola, as you chime in, also, talk on what type of protection should new parents guys for?
Yeah. So, one of the things, I always ask people, there's a saying that says people don't plan to fail, but they fail to plan. And, once you don't put the right things in place, just like each and every one of us, just like building a house, you start the house with the foundation and not with the question is, what is that financial foundation that you have for your family? What is protecting that income such that, God forbid, if you have any illnesses, you have critical chronic illness, what stopgap do you have that when you can't even go out there to make that income, how does that income continues to flow in such that, your financial obligations are not compromised? These are some of the things that are not, these are non-negotiables, having the right financial foundation, is very, very important. So to the question, what are the kind of protection that are out there, the kind of life insurance that are out there? There are a whole bunch of array of it, but typically there are two types when it comes to like life insurance, and you have disability insurance. You have all these kind of different insurances that are used for different things. And like Modupe said, you have to know what is the objective. What are you trying to prevent, or what need do you have? So even if we go back to like life insurance, if we look at life insurance, you could be talking about maybe a term or a life, or a permanent one. Which one? How do you know which one to go with? How do you know which one? Because of our time, we can't go in depth, with us today. But I want us to understand that there are arrays and there are opportunities. Stop looking at the cost, because in the absence of value, they say everything is costly. But if you don't sit down with a financial professional, how do you know what fits into your budget? How do you know if there's no tailored plan that can be set for you and your family? So please, it's very important. You can sit down with any one of us. You could put your name in the comment chat and reach out to us. And we'll definitely fill you more in the different plans that you can have for yourself and your family. Now, tomorrow might be too late.
And that's just the truth. Tomorrow might be too late. Well, protecting that income is one of the most important steps you can take as a parent.
Mm.
So once that foundation is in place, you can build everything else with with confidence, right? Um, we hope today's conversation gave you clarity and a few practical steps you can take moving forward. Well, building is, I mean, for new parents in the diaspora, isn't about perfection. That's something that we should remember. It's about making intentional financial decisions in the middle of real responsibilities, both here and back home. So over time, those choices create stability. They create options and eventually a legacy. So at the World Bridge, our goal is to help you navigate money, culture, and responsibilities in a way that builds lasting stability.
Mhm.
So do not hesitate to seek expert advice, expert guidance whenever you need it. And feel free to share your questions in the comments if you have any, or reach out to us, just like Demola mentioned. Thank you for spending the time with us today. And to my co hosts, Mudupe and Ademola, thank you for your insights as always. If this resonated with you out there, please stay connected, share it with someone who might need it. And remember to subscribe for more conversations like this. Stay inspired, stay focused, and keep building one step at a time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you,
Take care. God
everyone.
bless.